We had webinars last week as well for the Afrikaans books, and there was someone from San Diego in the States. So that was the furthest person we had.
All right, Hannes, I think we can kick off.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Yana. Well, I just want to say a big warm welcome to everyone. Thank you for taking the time to out of your busy day. I know this is generally quite a busy time of year and day, so we really appreciate that you are here. We have a great panel of experts, book lovers, that will tell you all about some books we actually love. So you can almost think of this as a bit like a dating app. We are going to present a bunch of books, and hopefully, you can find your perfect match that will work in your classroom. These are books that we love, but I also want to just add that we have a lot more books. So if you didn't see your exact match, then or perfect match, then please reach out to us and we will help to find your perfect match. We have a beautiful array of local and international titles, and I'm very excited to share these with you. I think yeah. Oh, I need to introduce myself. My name is Hannes Barnard. I'm the Education Sales Manager for Penguin Random House South Africa. And it is, yeah, our pleasure to work with schools, with teachers that are doing the best work in the world. You are essentially making sure that the country has a future. So we really appreciate what you do and we appreciate your time, as I said. So with that, we'll kick off with the first title.
And I'm just going to introduce myself. I'm Sonia. I'm the sales manager for our children's books on the trade side. And then Celeste, you'll see her here. We work together and we feel very, very privileged today that you want to listen to us talk about books. And be careful, we talk a lot about our books. We love our books. So I'm going to start off with Roald Dahl. I don't think anybody here don't know Roald Dahl. We've just so you know, the first time he wrote a book was called The Gremlins. I was thought maybe it's for the Gremlins the movie, and he actually wrote the book in 1941 for Walt Disney, and nothing really happened. And then he wrote these beautiful children's books because he actually told the stories to his children, and this is what we've seen today. Roald Dahl is one we call them our top our big five. We've got a big five at Penguin Random House because I also work on the product side. So this is, what we do. And the big five is Roald Dahl is one of them. We've been selling Roald Dahl for years. A lot of the books are prescribed, but listen, I don't know you, but when my daughter is now 20, or so it's 24 years old, but when she was younger, I brought home because we're Afrikaans at home, so I didn't really know about Roald Dahl. I knew about it, but I never read it. And then when she was younger, I said no, she needs to read Roald Dahl, and I brought home Revolting Rounds, and she was not even in school yet, and we read it together, and she would lie on the floor laughing out loud. And I think that is what Roald Dahl encapsulates. It's fun, it's disgusting, it is perfect to read with the children to read aloud. And I think that is why they are so popular. I tried to look because I'm from the trade side, so just to see why Roald Dahl will be beneficial for any school. And I think Roald Dahl is, for other languages as well, because it's so relatable, it's so relatable. We've got Charlie, we've got the fantastic Mr. Fox, we've got Danny, BFG, Matilda. And these themes that you can use is good versus evil. I mean, in all of them, there's a bit of good versus evil. There's a lot of disgusting stuff. And also about justice and consequences. If you look at actually the twits, because they're disgusting and they did awful things, but everything turned out well at the end. Imagination, a BFG and little Sophia, working together, resilience. And so, yeah, I love Roald Dahl. I can talk about Roald Dahl until I'm blue in my face. It is a big brand for us. We do, by the way, I have a price promotion every year, and we're going to do it again this year, where we drop the price to from what we normally do at about 50 Rand, and we dropped the price from from end of July to end of September. So watch out for these little specials, and then it's easier to get them into your schools. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Helene and I'm the sales coordinator for the education team based in Johannesburg, and I assist customers throughout South Africa and parts of Namibia. So we will be showing you a lot of amazing fiction titles, which I'm sure you already have realized, but I'd also like to take the chance to show you some really amazing non-fiction titles which might be suitable for your class. So, nonfiction children's books are a powerful way to encourage reluctant readers by tapping into their special interests. They also introduce a learner to new vocab and fascinating facts about people, places, things, events, and building their overall background knowledge in an engaging and age-appropriate way. So, starting off with these three amazing titles, we've got Sandy and the Salty Sea Dogs. So, Sandy, with an I, not a Y, the mom of Brownie and Lucy, have their best life. They travel with their human parents across the waters of False Bay. They also make friends with crazy gannets, curious penguins, friendly dolphins, and even a mysterious whale. So join these incredible dogs and read all about their wonderful and exciting adventures on the ocean. You can also learn a lot of facts about the animals the dogs meet. Read, look, and watch a truly unique and multidimensional introduction to the marine ecosystem. With included QR codes, you can also watch videos relating to the relevant chapters. This book is ideal for anyone who cares about the ocean and its animals. The story is told from Sandy's perspective and includes both narrative and factual elements to expand on the adventures. The book can also be used as part of the Grade 2 and Grade 4 curriculums covering ecosystems and habitats, respectively. The second title is going to be called Lucy and the Great White Sharks, which will be available towards the middle of this year. Then heading on to Mr. Rian Manser. In September 2003, Rian Manser left Cape Town to travel around the world on a bicycle. My First African Adventure allows the reader to relive the toil, excitement, and occasional terror of his journey, negotiating the Sahara and Libyan deserts, learning French, Portuguese, and Arabic, eating monkey, rat, and bat, standing in front of the pyramids, being awarded the freedom of the Red Sea in Egypt, feeding hyenas mouth to mouth, and standing on the highest as well as the lowest points in Africa. Crammed with fun facts and information with QR codes linking to videos and photos of Rian's adventures, it is sure to entertain and spark multiple interesting lesson plans, giving learners the opportunity to learn more about other African countries, cultures, and languages. The book is available in English and Afrikaans, as well as Rian's following adventures, My First Wild Island Adventure, where he traveled around Madagascar, and My First Frozen Adventure, where he kayaked around Iceland. And last but not least for this particular slide, we have Protect Our Planet. So meet Romario Valentine. When the book was first published, he was 11 years old. He is now 14. He's from Durban, South Africa. And through tree planting, beach cleanups, arts, and conservation projects, he champions a healthier planet. In Protect Our Planet, Romario introduces young readers to key environmental topics like recycling, reforestation, pollution, and climate change. Aligned with the foundation phase life skills curriculum, this book covers human-environment relationships, renewable energy, forests, water conservation, and reducing waste. It also includes fun step-by-step projects, such as building a bug hotel, a bird feeder, and water filter, along with colorful illustrations, practical tips, and engaging activities that inspire children to care for the environment.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Sakio. I work in the education department. I have customers across the country, in Gauteng and across the country. Now, I am introducing to you books. This first book I'm going to talk about is a book of emotions. Now, what is the most important thing about emotional books about emotions? They provide the vocabulary and framework to identify, label, and manage complex feelings and reduce tantrums and building emotional intelligence for children. And importantly, again, emotional literacy and vocabulary, so that children can name feelings such as angry or sad and jealous and anxiety and those kinds of things. Meet Luna, the first book, Meet Luna. Luna is starting school, starting a new school. She's anxious, she's sad, she's worried. Even her tongue is growling and she thinks about what's going to happen to a new school. The most wonderful thing about this book, Luna actually names her feelings, but Luna is not alone on this journey. Luna has her mom. Her mom teaches her the vocabulary of being calm, such as, she says, I feel all by myself. Am I going to be alone at school? Her mom says, no, you have to feel calm, Luna, my darling. Her mom is there and encourages her. What is wonderful about this book, of course, is that we often get books about with girls as protagonists often aren't necessarily prescribed in a lot of schools, but this is a universal feeling. Whether it's a girl or a boy in the cover of the book, Luna learns feelings. Luna learns to have courage. Luna learns to be excited. She looks forward to her friends. And the book teaches children the importance, particularly for teachers, caregivers, and moms, and everybody at home, that you can actually be strong, you can be calm, and actually you can name your feelings. So this is a really great addition for children for grade 3s to 4s as well. Many, many things.
Okay, I feel like we almost need a drum roll here because I'd like to introduce to you. Ooh, where's that going? The page is flipping about. The Sakiwa will talk about the book itself in a minute, but I'd like to introduce you to friendly books or vriendelijke boeken in Afrikaans as well. So our plan is to introduce books that focus on accessibility. So this will have special features that will make reading easier and more enjoyable. And so we'll use easy to read fonts, special paper, larger margins, interactive elements, and a lot more. And it's not just dyslexia friendly or ADHD friendly. These are books that are meant to be enjoyed by everyone. So from your big readers to those who have been excluded from reading through for whatever reason. These are a whole new series of books that we'll introduce, and we're starting with this book, The Great Storybook Heist by Christine Potgieter, who was incidentally also one of the people behind this idea. So we're very excited to introduce this with this book, and we will be following it up with a bunch of other books this year and next year, also with the Friendly Books sticker. So keep a lookout for that. And it's meant to be as inclusive as possible and make more people readers. Sakiwa, over to you.
We are enormously proud of this new journey that we're embarking on. Because the most important thing about these books is that they actually are telling children that books are for everybody. But because books compete with the internet and devices and all sorts of things. So meet this young person. One of the most beautiful things about the books that you can see there, the books works like it's a walking dictionary, but without necessarily being prescriptive. Children learn these new words as well. Children find refuge in words and in the library. So one of the most beautiful things about the book is that, as you can see, for example, as I say, it's a walking library. Some words are defined. For example, terrified. The author writes, feeling extreme fear. And then it encourages the children to name the feelings as well. The story is about finding refuge in literature, as so many of the children do sometimes when they're escaping feelings of being unworthy at home or anything of the sort. Most importantly, this entire series, this book in particular, it is about belonging. In some cases, when children feel different, Talia's terrified of it. Firstly, we meet Talia. She's terrified of entering the library. She thinks the librarian, Miss Crumble, is absolutely frightening. However, as she gets to know the library and she ingratiates herself in the world of books and the world of literature, she actually finds belonging. So not only are the stories adventurous and friendly and really are, as I said, books for everybody, the most important thing that I would like us to take away from these books, that books teach you about belonging. Because sometimes we can feel isolated, particularly for children who either have special needs or learning difficulties. In this book, this is a book for everybody, whether you are not a straight A student or a child who reads fast. These books are for every single child, and they encourage children not to discriminate each other and actually to be friends with each other. Thanks so much. Again, enter an adventure. Love, love, love this book. One of my favorite books that we've done in the past. Laurie and Preston's Sleuths. Meet 4 young people who decide that they will actually be a group of detectives. So these young people, they live in a complex, and of course, what happens? Something happens. A cat, Mrs. Jupiter's cat gets lost. A beloved cat named Poppet. She's devastated and is utterly desperate to get her home safe. 2 girls decide that actually we're going to start a detective agency. Laurie and Preston brings this universal story, whether it is indeed set in South Africa. However, the themes are universal. It is such, unlike many of the books we've done, this book is happy, it's exciting, it's thrilling, it's got words like grrr, and you're just very excited. The most important thing about this book teaches children about creativity, teaches about teamwork, kindness, responsibility, and the importance of safety in communities, whether at school or at home.
Okay, so meet Ayen. Ayen is legally deaf. She does wear a hearing aid, but there are quite a lot of circumstances where it doesn't help her much, especially if there's a lot of sound around. So as we have 2 books in the series. So in the first book was Ayen's first day. That was her first day at school. And that was quite an interesting day. Yep, the school was lovely, and the teacher can sign, which is brilliant, so they could communicate. But the school wasn't really ready for her, that is for sure. Plus, there is a bully called Joe. So the first one is a lot of fun, and we get to know Ayen and where she meets her brand new friends as well. And then the second book, which is I just finished this weekend, which was lovely. Ayen, considering her challenges, wants to dance. She sees this ad in a mall about a dance competition, and her friends encourage her. Declan and Jenny are brilliant friends. They've learned how to sign, and they encourage her, and she sort of twists her parents' arm to get her to start dancing. Now, this is obviously quite a tricky thing for someone with a hearing impairment, but through the beat and the rhythm that she can feel, the tactile feel of the beat, she starts to dance. The only issue is if you are deaf and trying to learn to dance, it's usually recommended that you dance with a partner. Now, this is where the book gets tricky because the dance instructor's son is the designated partner. And who is he? He is none other than Joe, the bully from the first book. So that makes everything a little more complicated, and she wonders whether or not it was a good idea to try and dance after all. So the question that we are left with is, will she be able to go through with this, and will she be able to learn to dance? This is a beautifully written book. It's lovely, it's fun, it's light, but with serious themes included. So I would say some of the themes are overcoming adversity and fear. There's deaf awareness, obviously. There's friendship, challenging and difficult situations, and how to overcome them. And I think it's something that both boys and girls will enjoy because there are strong characters for both genders. So I can recommend it highly.
Another title from the popular Laurie Ann Preston is, of course, Fab Farm. So, welcome to Dee Dee's Fabulous Farm. Got a gaggle of geese that needs a good home? Is your pet mouse eating all your cheese? Does your grumpy cat meow too loudly? Look no further. Dee Dee's back garden is open for any and all animals in need. She just has three problems. Number one, her parents are absolutely scared stiff of animals, big and small. Number two, if the neighborhood grumpy Mr. Krusty finds out about her farm, she'll be in a whole lot of trouble. And number three, just how big are some of these animals going to get? So this also comes along with a really great reading guide that it was also written by Laurie Ann Preston, and it's user-friendly, practical, and is ideal for classroom use. There's basic information on literature elements, questions and answers, speaking and writing activities for each chapter. There is also a chapter based on an extract from a drama, Fab Farm, with simple drama theory and questions and answers. The guide will help teachers to teach literacy aspects in a simple way, and all the activities, questions, and answers will definitely shorten the preparation time for you as the teacher.
Meet our friendly dog, Meatball. We are introducing our wonderful, wonderful writer, Fanny Viljoen, which I'm sure most of you will be familiar with. Rudy runs a dog rescue center with his mom at home. They rescue dogs. Some dogs people have emigrated or semigrated, or some dogs have actually been abused through circuses. We have characters like Cruella enters the fray, and some very spoiled brat who doesn't actually like dogs very much. So the themes in this book are about care, animal care and animal cruelty. And also, we also have themes of emigration or semi-migration in this instance, where one of the characters actually leaves the city but finds solace in dogs. One of the other very strongest themes in this book is the themes about friendship and belonging and love and caring for one another. The book has great diverse characters. The book is quintessentially South African. Great addition to your classroom, particularly with Fanny, and a lot of the books of Fanny's books are prescribed. We love this book very much. Many thanks.
Oh, I should time myself, because if I start talking about Diary of Wimpy and Lottie Brooks and all my favorites, so I'll try to keep it short. If you do not know this, I think everybody knows Diary of Wimpy. But like I said, we've got the Fab Five. This is the Fab one, number one, and it's not just because it's selling so well. It is the best children's author brand in South Africa and I think around the world. But also when we bring every in end of October, we bring out the new hardback that here, and it is one of the biggest books in South Africa. It's always like the top two, top three. So yes, for us, it's a really big brand. It's a heritage brand, like Roald Dahl. We call them heritage brands because you won't believe it, but Diary of Wimpy is 20 years old. We had a wonderful book called Party Pooper last year. It was pink and lovely. I loved it. And it was the 20th book. Diary of Wimpy, what I think and I've seen is why it's working so well, because of the cartoons. So Jeff Kinney, when he was in college, he wanted to become a cartoonist. So he thought he was really good and he was, did these cartoons, but it never actually took off. He could never market himself as a cartoonist. So he thought, okay, fine. He started with Diary of Wimpy, with Greg and all his friends. And then there was a platform where every week he will have a little bit of a strip, with Diary of Wimpy little stuff. And then a publisher came to him and offered him, why don't you write a book for us? And that's how it happened. So since 2007, we have sold, Penguin, Random Mouse around the world have sold 300 million copies. 300 million. And we know, why it's so, the children love it so much because of the humor. It's humor. It is funny. If you haven't dipped into Darwin Olympic because I think sometimes we think, oh, we're not the target market, we're too old. It's very funny. And Greg is ridiculous, but he's growing up, and it's what boys are going through, and it's what's happening with friendships and family and brothers and sisters, and I think that is, that is the universal themes. But what it's also is, what I love about Darwin Olympic, and I've heard it from so many children, is that a child that can really read well love Darwin Olympic, and children that are struggling a little bit can read Darwin Olympic, and on the same level they can talk about it. It's relatable. So I, from the trade side, we love Darwin Olympic. We love Jeff Kinney. He loves South Africa, by the way. So thank you for everybody. It's already, prescribed this book. We saw it yesterday. He sent us a video for something else. So I think it's, again, it's humor. And that is what I think is lovely. Children grow up differently. It's a very long time ago when I was a child. But anyway, we were running around wild and so forth. And children can't do that anymore. So when you read the books, they can actually, the imagination, and they can actually travel and they can see adventurous stuff. And this is why, Jeff Kinney is so great. Another little point is, please, we always do, I always do a Darwin Olympic price promotion for the first 6 books, because if you get them hooked on the first 6, they will read the rest. So we drop the price again for 3 months from October to December. And then it's nice if you want to try to get the books into schools. So one of my favorites. I should stop favorites because I have too many favorites. I'll just stop saying that.
Right, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Yakunet, and I'm also on the education team. I'm the regional manager for the Western Cape, Northern Cape, Eastern Cape, and Namibia. And I'm going to talk to you about Tabo, the Space Dude, from Laurie Ann Preston's pen. So as you know by now, Laurie Ann understands kids, especially boys. Her stories are packed with humor and adventure, and with Tabo, the Space Dude, it is no different. Poor Tabo is horrified when his so-called loving parents inform him that his family is moving to Mars. Could his life get any worse? Well, apparently so, since his parents are forcing him to document his last days on Earth in this logbook. Imagine a life without pizza, no Netflix, no Wi-Fi. Will Tabo survive Mars boot camp? Will he be able to smuggle his 2 best friends on board the space shuttle? And most importantly, will he manage to sneak a farewell kiss to Mbali? Get ready for outer space and science fiction and dive into this humoristic series of Tabo and his adventures. These books are written in logbook format and have the coolest black and white illustrations. And for the teachers, there's a reading guide available. And being a former teacher herself, it is written by Laurie Ann. There's even a play in it, inspired by Tabo, the Space Dude Logbook 2, and serves as a comprehensive summary of the entire book and is designed to be enjoyed before or after reading the book. The study guide is for all 3 books, and Tabo, the Space Dude, is ideal for grade 5 to 6 home language and grade 7 first additional language. Then other books in this series are Tabo, the Space Dude Logbook 3, Voyagers in Space, and Logbook 2, Destination Mars. Coming out in April, Logbook 4, Mission Madness, will join the list. As I said, Tabo, the Space Dude, ideal for grade 5 to 6 home language learners or grade 7 first additional. Next up is another book by Laurie Ann, Vampy the Flying Guinea Pig, and it's also ideal for grade 5 to 6 home language, grade 7 first additional. Flint is not a fan of freaky things. He likes to be indoors and play on his iPad for fun, but his mum forces him to go outdoors over the weekend. Ugh. Flint's friend Zuko loves creepy things, and since Flint must be outdoors, Zuko suggests that they get out to the haunted house in the neighborhood. Imagine Flint's shock when they find a vampire guinea pig, one who talks with an Afrikaans accent, has fangs, and can fly. Join Flint in this funny, delightful, and seriously bonkers adventure as he tries to figure out how to deal with his dodgy new pet and why some bad people want to catch him. 96 pages and comes in paperback format.
Oh, one of my favorite books. I'm Celeste, as Son said, and I work on the trade side of things. This is a book we don't just represent international titles from the UK. Of course, we have a lot on the American side as well, and I'll be showing you something from one of our agencies, Usborne, just now. The Library of Unruly Treasures really dates me because the first thing it reminded me of was a book that I read at school, which was called The Borrowers. And it's all about a little girl who really is, yeah, she's kind of shifted between parents. Her parents don't pay much attention to her. Her father's constantly got new girlfriends. Her mother doesn't really have time for her, and she's shipped off to a tiny little town for her school holidays to meet her great grandfather. Her great grand uncle. And she's very apprehensive about this, of course. She's not very sure of herself. She arrives there and she doesn't know anything about him. And he introduces her to the library, which was built by an ancestor of hers. And who can resist a book about a library? Gwen reminds me so much of Matilda. She is just a go-to girl. She has such determination. It is about um, a the reason I say the borrowers, when she enters this library, she discovers that there are little creatures that only she and children under 6 can see. And they fly around the library with their little wings, and they've got funny colored hair, and they are very upset because a new library is being built. I think it's a great introduction for children to realize that there is something in storytelling, that there are things that children know that adults may not know, that sometimes children are in control of the story. It's, of course, all about books. It's about Gwen's discovery that she has actually is the chosen one according to mythology through these little creatures, and she is going to make sure that everything is going to be all right. She finds her place in this little town. She finds that she is loved. She grows up, she develops these friendships, and she discovers a lot about her family, and that she has a place in the world. So I think that that is very special. And also, we had Sonia talk about Roald Dahl. Well, we now have the follow-up to the Twits, and the Twits is one of my favorite Roald Dahls because it's just stinking and disgusting. And this is a whole program that Puffin has taken on where they are taking authors who are very well known writing other children's titles, and they are following on and writing books associated with the originals. And initially, I was so skeptical. I was just like, how is this possible? I mean, this is not going to work. Well, the moment I started reading this book, it was just Roald Dahl all over again. It just brought the Twits coming straight back to me, how disgusting they were. They have a new family who has moved in next door to them, and they are disgusting. They're the worst neighbors you could ever hope for, but they're also disgusting to each other. They like to play pranks on each other. So they, for example, like to pretend that and try to persuade the other one that they're shrinking or growing taller by adding or cutting off part of their walking sticks. And they terrorize the neighborhood. It's just, they're awful. And the Lovelies are just the most wonderful family. They just want to do everything good in the world. And they have 2 twins. Well, they have twins. And these 2 boys get up to no mischief. They're also just great guys until the Twits start playing pranks on them. And they decide that the Twits are going to get a taste of their own medicine, but in the nicest possible way. The themes are divine because not only is it disgusting, and there's a lot of alliteration, as Roald Dahl always used to use. The language use is just divine, but it is also about how being kind actually makes you look like a better person. That being nasty makes you ugly on the outside as well as the inside. I think it's about friendships. It's about the fact that there are consequences for doing things that are really wrong. It's about morals and ethics and kind of also problem solving in terms of how you are going to get through the disgustingness of these 2 creatures who live next door.
Celeste, I love the twins. But anyway, okay, now I'm going on to my favorite, Lottie Brooks. So I have to spend a little time here, so bear with me. So it was, I think it was in 2023. What we do as product managers as well, so we are sales managers, but also product managers, and that means that we work a lot with the product. So we get the books in early, we put it on a subscription, we tell everybody about it from the UK, Australia, we don't know, from Australia and from the US and our agents, and then we put it out and everybody go and sell it. Now this just snuck through. I saw it, I said, yeah, okay, slap it on. We started selling, and yeah, we sold about 100 copies or something. But every week we have to do our reorders where we go through and say, oh, okay, this is selling out, so we order stock. And then after a few months, I go, it's when it's, we published the first one and then the second one, and I think it was about the third book. And I go, oh, you know what? There is some stunning reorders coming through. And I wanted to see what Lottie Brooks is about. So we got some samples, we put them all together. If you look at the back, there's Lottie Brooks. They look beautiful together. And I said, oh, this is so pretty. This is part of my job. This is so nice. I think we can sell this. Started reading it. I screeched with laughter, but I thought, again, I'm the wrong target market, way over the target market. So I gave it to, people in an apartment, an assistant with a little girl, and Kim, our marketing manager. And I said, you please let your children read it. They loved it. And we thought, oh, you know what? This is a bit of a passion thing. We're going to put money aside. And we're going to have a promotion. So everybody was like, what are you smoking? Nobody knows this. Nobody else is talking about it. We decided Lottie is our new thing. And we did a promotion. And everybody in South Africa fell in love with Lottie Brooks because they actually read the books. We gave lots of books away. People read it and fell in love with this crazy little girl called Lottie Brooks who's trying to just grow up. She's 11. Almost going to 12. I think they said 11 3/4. Remember years ago, what's that book? Yeah, Thompson, yeah. And this is her life. So what I absolutely love about Lottie Brooks is that I, as an adult, read this and fell over laughing. There were sad times that I thought, oh, I can see myself in this book. I can see what my daughter went through this. And then I started giving it to Monet, our sales market, our manager. And I said, you need to read it. He read it. He got it. And it is beautifully illustrated. Katie Kirby, I'm going to just show you because I want to show you how beautiful it is. By the way, this is the new book that I'm releasing in April. I got them yesterday, so I'm so excited. But anyway, so this is the new book. But Lottie Brooks is for everybody. It is adults can read it, children read it. I think I told you. And it's just about friendship. It is about the very terrible thing. She went to yoga and she was in a very compromising stretch there or something. And she had a little bit of a farty that went out. And she was mortified, absolutely mortified. And this is things that really happen. It's starting to, wearing a bra. It's not nice to wear a bra, and she had to go through it. It's stuff that happens, and her parents are so mortifying, and I go, oh my goodness, that's me. I'm the parent. It is fantastic. We had so much fun with Lottie Brooks, so much so that she actually came to South Africa last year. And I said, Katie, I was a bit starstruck when I met her. I said, Katie, hello. But why did you start writing this box? And she said she's actually got 2 boys. So this was for her, where she just wanted to write a book that she feels good about. And her illustrations is what makes these books so special. Another thing for Lottie Brooks, what the girls absolutely love to do is they diarize. She teaches them and say, put your emotions. I think Saki talked about it. Emotions, because shame, these poor kids are going through emotional turmoil and learning how to cope with them and diarize it. So there's a whole, where she talks on social media and so forth to the young ones and say, listen, why don't you write it in a diary and start a diary? Why don't you write a book? Why, it's how to teach and how to engage with each other and so forth. I love Lottie. I absolutely adore her. This is a passion project. Celeste loves her. I think a lot of people do. It's a passion project from Penguin, and we're just so grateful that people love it with us. It's not about the sales, it's about the happiness that we bring to children. And I promise you, I've got so many people here in Fisher, where I live, young girls that we talk, and they will die if they hear there's a new Lottie book. So this book is going to travel quite a lot. So from passion going to getting books to children, yeah, I'm going to shut up now. Thank you very much.
We all love Lottie. We could chat about Lottie forever. And I just remembered I forgot something very important about the Twits Next Door. There's going to be a Netflix movie in October. Way to go. This is Usborne. And Usborne do the most amazing, amazing books with the most amazing teacher's guides and lots of things that you can use in terms of worksheets. We just love them very much. This book is incredibly important, I feel. I live in an area where it is really, and I love it, there are people from all over the world and all over Africa who live here. And I just know how difficult it is from some of the young children that I've encountered to move to a new place, to a new country, and to not speak the language and to try and adapt to life there. And here you meet Mei Xing, and she and her family have moved to live in another country, another world, basically, because that's what it feels like, with her great uncle after her. There is a terrible tragedy that they live through in China. And when she gets there, she finds the house quite scary because there's a lot of magic realism in this book. And kind of, yeah, there are corridors that suddenly close and open and staircases that appear. And she's really feeling quite out of her depth. Her father is very stressed out because he can't speak English. He needs to find a job. Her mom is pregnant and quite depressed because of what happened back in China. And all the pressure is on her, as it happens with a lot of first-generation immigrants, that she should be an A student, that she is the one that they have compromised their entire lives for. They've thrown everything away just so that she can succeed in the world. And that pressure is enormous, particularly when the family is very poor. She realizes when she goes to school that she's actually wearing the school bullies' secondhand clothing because they are so poor. And he eventually becomes a friend because she realizes that as a Vietnamese immigrant, he is also feeling terribly angry and out of his depth. So she makes friends with him, and she makes friends with another child who comes from the Middle East. And they kind of stick together, mostly because they go to a language class where they're learning to speak English. But she invites them to the most magical place that she has found. And this is where the magic realism really kicks in. It is a glass house at the end of the garden, and it contains an orchard. But things really change around there. She kind of meets the uncle whose home it was, the ghost of him. And there's also a magical cat who kind of can talk to her and interact with her and reassure her. And so there's this wonderful mystery story that happens around the themes of self-growth, realizing that she was not to blame for the tragedy that happened back in China, and that she can make this, she can make it, that she doesn't need to feel all that pressure, that she can help other people and make friends with other people. It's just a very, very beautiful book, and it's based on the author's life. So it's semi-autobiographical. It's beautiful. And then my final book, I got so many nice ones, thank you, is The Green Kingdom. Now, you'll all remember Cornelia Funke. She wrote the Inkheart series, which I absolutely loved. This is not a fantasy book in a way, but it's still very, very magical. It's about a youngster who, her name is Caspia, which is the name for sea holly, which is one of my favorite flowers. But Caspia is like any child on the cusp of teenagerdom. And for her, she has discovered that instead of spending her holiday in Maine with her friends, no, her father has got a job opportunity in New York. And now she has to go along with the family there. And she hates tall buildings and cities. Her idea of fun is being out in nature. And she is really miserable and being a bit of a horrible child, as with lots of eye rolls. And she then discovers in a chest of drawers 10 letters that were written between sisters in the 50s, 1950s, and 1960s. And one of the sisters was traveling with her father and wrote these letters that described plants. So there was a riddle, and you had to solve the riddle to discover what the plants were. And with every one of these plants, it's not just about solving the riddle. There is also a legend behind it, possibly, or there might be something historical, for example, cotton and what cotton represents in the world in terms of being downtrodden and slavery. And she also has to wander through the city and discover the green belts, like the botanical gardens, and discover that there is green in the city, and that she can put down roots herself in terms of building relationships and learning about the things that she really, really loves. And I just think that greenery is so important to our children. I think that, yeah, if ecology is the top of their minds as our world gets crazier and crazier.
There's a stunning book, Celeste. I'm excited to read them myself. So, speaking of which, this is a question, what is the perfect girl? And this is what this book is all about. So we have Jake, and Jake is just a regular guy. He likes to play guitar. He's a waiter at a coffee shop. He's not particularly cool or particularly popular, but he's okay. He also has two very geeky friends who have developed the software to come up with what the perfect goal should be, and they've got criteria, and the software will help you sort of itemize almost what the perfect goal would be. But that doesn't matter because one day Natasha walks into class. She's brand new at school, and she, by the looks of it, is completely perfect. She's beautiful, and Jake is head over heels. But he, like I said, just a regular guy. How is he going to get the most beautiful girl in the school? Luckily, he has a best friend, and her name is Julia. They've been friends forever, and they also work together at the coffee shop. And she comes up with a plan and to help him get this girl. So I'm not going to go into too much detail, but they end up going to a cat show, for instance, and he's allergic to cats, so that doesn't go well. But he does get further than you might think. The thing is, though, there is Julie, his best friend, and there might be a chance that through this whole process, he realizes that perhaps she is the one he hasn't sort of noticed before in the true sense of the word. And maybe she is perfect. So there's a lot of questions and a lovely, easily accessible story. I think especially the quirkiness of it, the quirky style it's written in, the quirky illustrations helps. For instance, Julie wears t-shirts to show her mood of the day. So if she's not interested in talking to you, her t-shirt will say it. So there's a lot of fun, interesting new ideas in this story. I think the language is very accessible. It's an easy read. But there are strong themes in there. So if you have reluctant readers in your classroom, this is perfect for them. You can also use it for first additional language. So to help you even more, as you can see on the screen, there's a great reading guide for this, from vocabulary to like language and oral exercises to questions and answers from every chapter. It really is all-in-one guide to help you with lesson planning, etc. So I hope you have a lot of fun with this one.
Right, and here we have our LTSM. So I know it's been a long day, but I'm asking you to bear with us for 10 more minutes. Let me tell you about our latest and greatest First of all, there on the left-hand side, we have questions and answers for the classroom for grade 4 to 7. There's some QR codes that you can scan for some more info regarding these books. This book is ideal for teachers and parents. Teachers will be able to use it in the classroom as it contains more than 50 texts in the following categories: comprehension tests, visual text, listening tests, and summaries. Parents will also be able to buy the book to use as additional resources at home or for homeschool use. The book links with the Afrikaans version of the series called Vrae en Antwoorde vir die Klaskamer graad 4 tot 7. So what sets this book apart? The book offers excellent value for money because it contains more than 50 texts. The answers are accessible via QR code. The book is ideal for home language and first additional language use, mainly for grade 4 to 7, as I said, and it follows the CAPS assessment guidelines. It consists out of 192 pages and it's in a paperback format. The next set is the questions and answers for the classroom for grade 7 to 9. It works on the same basis as the grade 4 to 7 book. It also links with the Afrikaans version of the series called Vrae en Antwoorde vir die Klaskamer graad 4 tot 7. And you will see that both these books has content for grade 7. Just take note that it is different content inside each of the books. Then next to them, the blue and the red ones is from Berlut. The Afrikaans Handbook and Study Guide and the English Handbook and Study Guide. So let's start with the red and yellow one, or as the learners call it, the cheese and tomato book. It is a comprehensive English reference book and it's recommended for use for grades 4 to 12, both home language and first additional language. It is invaluable to the teachers, students, and as a home reference. It covers the basics and it fills in the gaps. Everybody knows this book. It is used in a lot of schools. So if you don't have one in your classroom, I would strongly suggest that you try to get hold of one for every learner. It is practical, it is user-friendly, it is simple, visual, and logical. It's color-coded for easy understanding, recall, and application. It's not meant to be used in isolation, but rather in conjunction with regular lessons and other textbooks. The basic structure of the English language is constant, only the application will differ between the classes. Teachers, this book will replace the notes you give at different levels every year. It will save you time, effort, and expense of compiling and photocopying notes. You'll have the security of knowing that your students have a comprehensive set of notes which can be added or omitted according to the level being taught. These notes may be used in class for instruction or revision. The book may also be used independently by your students for self-study and homework tasks. Once taught, each section can simply be revised and updated each year, freeing you from having to reteach it. The table of content consists out of language, comprehension, writing, literature, visual literacy, oral communication, spelling, vocabulary, business English, tasks for teachers and learners. And all language books include a teacher's guide at the back. It's an A4 paperback book consisting out of 168 pages. Now let's talk about the Afrikaans Handbook and Study Guide. This is the English Student's Guide to Afrikaans. Grade 5 to 12, first additional language. The book works on the same principle as the English one. It's practical and user-friendly. It's simple, visual, and logical. Again, color-coded for easy understanding. The big difference is that all the explanations are in English with Afrikaans examples. The teachers can teach via themes and practice all the taal structures within each theme, in the knowledge that this handbook can be used as a reference. They can also reasonably expect students to write and speak on various topics now that the vocabulary is accessible to them. The table of contents again is language comprehension, writing, literature, visual literacy, oral communication, spelling, vocabulary, and so much more. And then the next slide, please, Ina, is last but not least, The Vegan Vampire. Feels like I'm talking about a lot of vampires today. But The Vegan Vampire is an anthology that was compiled specially for the Term 3 literature project that primary schools must complete as part of their CAPS curriculum. It is the first of its sort to suit the needs of primary schools who are working on this Term 3 literature project. The book contains poetry, short stories, dramas, and folklore. Not only are there high-quality texts from well-known authors like Lorianne Preston, Diane Stewart, and our own Hannes Barnard, but it's also a very cost-effective option for the classroom. This book is ideal for grade 4 to 7 learners, and it can be purchased in grade 4 and then used up to grade 7. 104 pages, it comes out in a paperback format, and then you'll see there next to it a separate full-color study guide is available for the teachers. But thank you, Ina. That is all from my side.
Well, that brings us to the end of the presentation. Thank you very much for your attention. I really hope that you saw something there that resonates with you and that you want to bring into your class. We love these books, and I hope that shines through. It's more than just selling books to us. We think these books have the capacity to change people's lives, to change kids from non-readers to readers, because we all had that one book that changed us. And I just want to thank everyone in the panel for brilliant presentations. Thank you so much for going through wonderful books and a great selection. Um, as I said before, we have a lot more books, so please reach out to us if you have any questions or would like suggestions for a specific grade, or perhaps you're in an area where the language skills aren't there yet and you want them to develop those. Please reach out to us. We will help you with ideas. I want to thank Jenna as well for putting together the presentation. Just so that you know what to expect, we will be sending out the presentation. There will be certificates of attendance, and then Jenna will also do a price list of all the books that we discussed today. Jenna also dropped in the catalog link to have a look at. That's got a bunch of books in there. So please have a look and see what the prices are and maybe some other ideas that will help you in the classroom. So a big thank you for spending an hour with us. We just managed to make it just under an hour, so I think that's pretty good. So you can go home or go out and make some dinner now or do whatever you do. And I just want to thank you and say good luck for the rest of the term. For you in full-term schools, you're almost at the holiday cutoff, so hopefully you have a restful break. For those in the 3-term schools, good luck, almost there, and best of luck for the rest of the year, and thank you so much for attending.
Bye-bye, everybody.